Insider Hotline from TSN.
What was your Mongoli beef order?
Jamie McLennan.
Mongoli grill. Yeah.
It was chicken, it was beef, and it was some noodles in there with some rice, and that was it. There's no vegetables, no nothing. A little teriyaki sauce.
That was your sauce? Was the teriyaki?
Yeah, I just bought some. I literally just put some.
Yeah. I was saying years ago we were at a media event in Red Deer. That's how if you had a press conference, you want people to actually show up for it. You give them food, feed them. Yeah. And they had a Mongoli grill press conference. So they allowed the media to go and just, go through, you know how to do it, where you get, you pay by the weight at the Mongoli grill.
There would be some media members that would go broke.
Oh,
there's some heifers in the media that would go.
Heifers.
You'd have to install a speed bump if it was free. Put it that way. Because I'll tell you what, and you know what, this guy in the middle there, he in this swear jar, man, you were out of control already. I would go 11-7. I know as a former defenseman,
I hated it.
I know you hated it, but put it this way: Ekholm or Jeff Skinner. I go Ekholm, and I'm trying to get him because if you believe you're going to win this series, you need Ekholm firing on all cylinders for the Florida Panthers. So that's really because Ekholm is timing. Like Rhett, you speak to it. I get it. He's a special player. He's a good player, but in the end, he hasn't played a lot, especially down the stretch. So your timing. This guy's not jumping on a moving train in February or in March. He's jumping on a moving train in June. And like I say, give him I wouldn't call him a free game because I think Dallas has a chance to get back in this series. But in the end, I think it's, it's more about like giving him an opportunity. It's not going to be 5 minutes. It might be 12 instead of 15 or 17. That's the only difference. And again, you don't get to control last change on the road in game 5. So I don't know what Skinner brings to the table other than
speed.
Yeah, but he's not speedy anymore.
Being a smart ass.
He's been out since April 11th, to your point, Noodles. So we're talking like a month and a half.
And he's a veteran. Put him in and let him play.
No, who are we talking?
The thing is Ekholm's a 1 or he's a 2, we'll call it, behind Bouchard or with Bouchard. Do you put him right back in at 22 minutes? So now all of a sudden you're jamming Bouchard up or whoever plays with Bouchard. Like, to me, it's finding.
No, I don't watch the Oilers because I hate them. Who's their 5-6?
It's Stetcher right now and
Tua together, and then be Emberson and Wallman.
Well, I'd kick Stetcher's ass out of the lineup and let Ekholm play, and whatever minutes he gets. He's played the game forever. He missed a month and a half. He doesn't need to.
But you've got the Hyman spot to fill.
So what I'm saying is, right now,
you put
Nurse and
Stetcher's out. Skinner, who I don't care if it's Skinner. Put the kid in. Savoy, he said, I'm not pulled for Skinner.
That's the other thing.
I'm just being a selfish team trying to argue. Quit arguing.
Savoy's not an NHL player right now. And you know what? In Dallas, last change, Dallas does play a heavier game. I think I would much rather – you heard last night, or you didn't hear, but I heard Knobloch talking about it. By the end of the second period, Draisaitl had played 11 minutes, just over 11 minutes. So he told him after the second period, I'm doubling you up. So what you're going to do, you're trying to have a dagger of a game. So you find more ice time for 11 guys as opposed to just throwing in the token guy, Jeff Skinner, and finding 8 to 11 minutes for him. I'd rather give those 8 to 11 minutes to RNH, to McDavid, to Draisaitl, to Kane, to guys who are going to play at the top of the roster instead of going, hey, Jeff Skinner, this isn't a charity case.
You're going to roll 3 lines, and what the hell difference does it make?
I guess my point is you roll 3.5 lines, and you find an extra shift or 2 for McDavid, Draisaitl, RNH, Kane, and you also can get Ekholm. This isn't a free game, but it's a free, it's bleeding him into the lineup instead of going feast or famine, go sink or swim on the road. And if you get trapped out in the second period on a long change and a 2.5-minute shift, it might kill you, and you might not recover in that game. And keep in mind, I don't know what the nature of the injury was. I believe people said it's the back or, groin or some mid body injury. This guy's not throwing the body around. Like, I'm more worried about that. Like, he's a big physical guy. Is he going to be able to handle that the physical rigors. And Rhett, you could speak to it. I didn't play D.
Yeah, but here's the question. I'm arguing just to argue.
Right.
But
it's actually my job here.
That's your job. Sorry. If he's injured and he comes back and he can't handle the physicality of it, it's not whether he plays 5 minutes or 10 minutes that's going to determine that.
It's a good point.
Right? Like you're either hurt and you can't handle it or you can.
Yeah.
It's not 5 or 8 minutes or 10 minutes that makes the difference.
I guess
timing, your speed. Some of us coached in the NHL and some of us didn't because they got blacklisted and they hung out with these two losers. And some of us had a career and actually did the job. So we should probably.
Well, no, but what I guess my thought process too, Rhett. My thought process. Sorry, my thought process is more about. I was thinking Brett Kulak. This isn't a free game for him, but I'd much rather get Ekholm into game action and not
Skinner.
And not hurt the integrity of what they have going on in the back end. Keep in mind, Stetcher's played very well with Nurse. And, Kulak's played well with Bouchard. Wallman's played well. Like you look at this group as a six-pack, they've done the job. And they haven't just done the job. Like this Klingberg looks like the Klingberg from Dallas years ago. It's crazy. But I don't want to upset the apple cart. So, to your point, if you believe that six is just doing the job, then keep Ekholm out another game. But I'd much rather have him, his first game being game 5 than 6 or 7, if it's necessary. That's my biggest thing for Ekholm.
So let's look at the forward group. You now have seen Podkolzin, Arvidsson, Kapanen, guys that have been in the stands or in the rafters watching, playing. The loss of Hyman, what does that do to how much you like them moving forward?
Well, it's a massive blow. I mean, I look at Florida without Sam Reinhart. There's a guy who scored 50. I know Hyman's more of a 35 guy, but a top-tier guy who's been the most physical guy in the playoffs. Scott, he had 2 hits in 3 minutes yesterday before he got hurt.
He almost had matched his season high for a regular season in this playoffs.
Right. You're right. That's the crazy thing. Yeah. So I don't think you replace him. What you do is you give a different look because you're not going to go Corey Perry. You go play like Zach Hyman. He can't skate like him. He's not going to get in on the forecheck. Now Perry's a crafty player. What what I'd like to see do is a guy like Kapanen who has all of the tools to do it. He's just wildly inconsistent, and I don't think he has the toolbox. I don't think he thinks the game at a high rate like Zach Hyman does. But if he's a programmable player, I think it's amazing. Knobloch has really been able to kind of find things, and his in-game adjustments or his hunches on players have been great so far. Arvidsson comes out, Kapanen goes in. It's like need a little bit more speed and physicality there. All of a sudden, Kapanen finds the game-winning goal
overtime
against Vegas. But keep in mind, it was Draisaitl who wasn't playing his best hockey, and it's like you're going to play with Kapanen and Podkolzin, 2 straight-line guys who aren't overly skilled, although Kapanen, I think, has skill. I think Podkolzin's a hard-working, heavy player, but it's like you go out and play a shutdown role, Draisaitl. And Draisaitl, to his credit, has been up for these challenges. Because it's not about winning a Hart or a Rocket. No, these guys have done all that. It's about winning. And Draisaitl, I think, has been able to, regardless of who you put with him, he makes them good. So that's where I think if you go 11, you can start the blender going and go, as long as you have a combination of 2 guys that you're really comfortable with, you can throw a third out there. So whether it's Skinner or it's, Podkolzin or it's you name it, Kapanen, they've been producing. I think Hyman's a massive blow, but so was Connor Brown. Connor Brown was playing really well for them. Now it sounds like Brown would probably be available game 6 or 7, depending on if it's a calendar week for a concussion and how the protocol, all of that is for him. But this is a massive blow. You're not replacing Hyman. What you're doing is throwing a different look at it. And they are lucky that they do have some depth there because Corey Perry has really seamlessly transitioned to their power play into that net front backdoor option for them. We saw it last night. RNH passed it to him.
Yeah, I'd love to give that guy credit. It just kills me to watch because I was thinking about, you think about last year, we talk about all the time. It's hard. You don't just get back. You just, well, it looks like the same two teams are going to get back. But Corey Perry was in and out of the lineup last playoff. They'd play him for a game or two, and then he'd sit for a game or two. Right now, he's moved up to the second line. He's on the power play. He looks as good as he has in the last 3-4 years, I would think. And I was going to, you kind of touched on it there for a guy like Leon. You've got your points now. Be more well-rounded. But what's happened to the Stars offense? It's milk carton across the board for so many of these guys. Now it's back-to-back games for Robertson, but Ben is nothing. Duchesne has the one goal that he scored in that comeback in game 1. Johnston, nothing in 7. Hintz, injured, I guess, nothing in 6. And even Rantanen had that 9-goal surge. He has 0 in his last 7. How much of that is Edmonton D, and just how much of it is them shitting themselves at the worst?
Well, I mean, I want to say 50-50. I mean, ultimately, Dallas had 22 high danger chances last night. That was the Sportlogic analytics, like 22-11. So it's not like Dallas has just been stifled. It's, yes, they had 39 shot attempts in the first period. So, Pete DeBoer even said afterwards, like 15 missed nets. How about hit the goalie, look for a rebound, force some chaos there, or pick a corner instead of missing the net. Yeah. So they've generated a lot. The one thing Edmonton, and I will give them full credit for, is under siege. When there are pockets of the game where they don't have control of it, they're able to find a way out of it. They're a resilient group. Now the goaltender putting his gear on now actually looks like he's given them an opportunity. Honestly,
he's so inconsistent. It's maddening. Like, how is this the same guy from the LA series that couldn't stop a beach ball? Like, it is wild. This guy, I don't know that I can think of a goalie whose floor is so low and his ceiling is so high. He's had 2 games where he hasn't either been a shutout or like 5+. It's wild.
You're 100% right. Now, the one thing I would argue on is those first 2 games in LA, there was a time where, can you remember? It was breakaway after breakaway after 2-on-1. You're like, what the hell is going on? Like, it didn't matter who was in net. It was, they were going to get rinsed with how poorly Edmonton was playing. Like, I'm thinking of, Fogle on a breakaway. I'm thinking of Deneau on break. Like off the top of my head, I'm like visioning these breakaways. Now there's going to be breakdowns. There's going to be a puck bounces over a stick here or there. We saw it, game 1. Draisaitl loses that puck and Sagan goes in and scores, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's a missed assignment. But you're right. Like, Stuart Skinner it's Jekyll and Hyde. But I do think it goes hand in hand with how well the team plays in front of him. They know what his limitations are. They're doing a good job taking away seam plays and backdoor plays. But Dallas is a little bit snake bitten as well. I mean, it's not like they're not getting looks. They're getting looks, but they're missing the net, or Skinner's making a good save, or, it's missed opportunities. But that's where you worry on night if you're an Edmonton fan, that if they put it together, they might put up a 6 or 7 spot and dummy you.
Yeah, if this is a 1 or 2 week stretch in the regular season, you're like, process is great. Like, they've had a chance in 3 of the 4 games. Doesn't feel like it. And it looks like Edmonton's been in control more. I think they have. But
yeah,
it's one of those things where you're not going to shoot 8% all year. But in a series, maybe you can. I don't know.
Well,
small sample.
You can. And then you also throw into it is you're not playing a team that doesn't have the capability to be opportunists.
Right.
We give 11 high-quality chances to a team like Edmonton, where 97 and 29 is getting a few of them. Like, you might be dragging it out of your net. This RNH is all of a sudden, his game is really rounded out. So their power play's woken up. Their penalty kill's been sharp. For the most part, I think Evan Bouchard, you want to talk about Jekyll and Hyde. That's the same thing with Skinner is Evan Bouchard. There are times where you go, hey, Rhett, like, you could speak to it. What the hell's this guy doing? And then he looks like Bobby Orr some nights.
Oh, it's unbelievable. He's frustrating. And not to take any credit off of what he's doing and how well he's playing, but I wanted to ask you this. We mentioned Knobloch and what a good job he's doing, and I think it's top shelf. I really do.
Yeah.
Klingberg, to me, and people have mentioned him, but I don't think it's been mentioned enough. When he went in and started to play, everything turned around for this team.
100%.
Everything.
You know why? It's funny. I heard Jeff Jackson being interviewed yesterday, and he talked about how they were looking for the most part, everyone was like, Edmonton needs a shutdown defenseman. Edmonton needs a Jacob Trouba. I believe I remember saying that. Like, they need a shutdown guy to play, it's Ekholm Bouchard, then it's Nurse in a shutdown. And Stan Bowman apparently was bullish, saying we need another puck-moving defenseman. And, now again, they took a big chance because John Klingberg looked like me with skates on.
Scrappy.
And, it was not good for the longest time. And he got hurt again, and I thought his career was done. And all he needed to do was get healthy and get up to speed. He's not a burner, but he's really smart, and he's really good at moving the puck. So Jeff Jackson said yesterday in his interview, he goes, our biggest concern was getting out of the zone. You needed somebody who could pass the puck. And Bouchard can do it. He's really good, but he's high risk. Klingberg's a high risk guy, but he's a little bit more based. Like, I think he understands what plays he can do, what plays he can't, because he's a little bit more veteran, obviously, than Bouchard. And you're right, Rhett. Like, it almost be like this guy's a stabilizing force. He's playing in the 4 spot, and he was wearing a ball cap 3 weeks ago, but like, it's almost like everything's kind of, again, come together. What this team was envisioned, we didn't see it. Down the stretch, that wasn't the team because there was injuries, and you weren't sure, is Frederick going to play? Is Evander Kane going to play? Can Klingberg come back? Like, there's all these giant question marks, and the guys weren't playing well. Zach Hyman didn't have a great year. RNH didn't have a great year. Stuart Skinner didn't have a great year. Evan Bouchard didn't have a great year. So you're going, I don't think Edmonton's going to make it past LA. All of a sudden, they get it together and go, that's what the team they envisioned and signed together. And now you're seeing them one game away from making the Cup final again. And it'll be an uphill battle. I don't think Dallas is going to go away. But, Edmonton has been a resilient group, and they, on a nightly basis, they find a way to win.
Getting sick to my stomach here.
Yeah, enough of that. Now, if you were going to have a donut,
yes,
would you have a plain or would you have a jelly filled? What do you?
No jelly filled. Those are lazy. I don't like that. I'm not a jelly filled guy. I don't listen. I don't need fruit with my sweets.
Gotcha.
Donut. I don't need. Hey, we're gonna put some jelly fill, and it's not even like real jelly. Like, it's they use it.
We went top shelf
or something.
This is mom and pop. Look. There's so much in it. It like comes up.
It's taking a dump.
Yeah, that's fair. It does look good, but it's
just
not
hang on. I'm gonna.
It's an explosion of jelly.
Oh my God, look at that.
Look out, it's dripping.
Yeah, it's gonna fall on your mic.
All right.
I was on national TV yesterday, and I had to lengthen my tie because I got some Swiss chalet rib sauce on it. I was too lazy to go to my dressing room. Like, I'll just kind of wipe this down, put the tie, had my coat button right up. I'm like, all right, let's, people actually only knew what it was like. But honestly, the jelly, they're not my favorite. The plain, give me a plain cake donut with some glaze, or, I like birthday cake ones.
Yep.
I'm a big pistachio guy. I've got a pistachio muffin staring at me right there, right on the counter. But I'm my kid, my son would love the jelly donut. But the problem is
pistachio paste back from Italy, because I know you like going to Italy.
Pistachio, the gelato. I eat pistachio gelato every day.
Paste. It's like in a tube. It's
unbelievable. Yeah, I have some in the pantry there.
You go to Hawaii too. Have you had the malasada donut in Hawaii?
No.
You got to try that next time you're there.
Yes.
We could talk about Florida and Carolina, but I find it highly boring and irrelevant.
You know what? The law of averages, eventually they were going to win one game, right? I do believe that. Now, here's the other thing. I'm going to go out on a limb. I think Carolina might win tonight on home ice.
Yeah.
Like, I still think Florida wins the series, but I think Carolina, they needed something to go right for them the other day.
A lead? They needed a lead. They hadn't had a lead.
Yeah, they needed a lead. They needed Florida to, I mean, keep in mind, Florida, all of a sudden, Reinhart didn't play. Mikola looked like Bobby Orr. He didn't play. Number 10, what's his name? He's third, fourth liner, left shot.
Yeah.
Greer didn't play as well. AJ Greer. Like, so, they're a team that's nicked up as well. The one thing, there was one play that almost made me charge the mound yesterday. Or 2 days ago when I was watching the game, sitting on the couch, and they're killing a penalty, and Aho's out there. Aho's the top player for them. And the puck bounces into the corner, and he goes burning into the corner, and he can get that, and he can fire it off the glass, but he's going to have to take a hit to make the play. And
no bueno.
I'm going to let whoever it was along the wall, Rodriguez, grab that because I don't want to get hit. And I was like, oh,
this time of year,
Rod Brindamore would eat the glass and crawl through it to get at him. But that was, I said, if you want an encapsulation of the difference between regular season hockey and playoff hockey and, the details, I was so disappointed. And I thought, I don't know if that's a carryover of Matthew Tkachuk just saying like chasing him around the ice and dummying him and nobody doing anything about it. I just don't know if Carolina is hardened enough. And it's not about fighting. It's about those 50-50 loose puck battles going, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get this puck out because that could be the difference in the game. And Aho came up short on that one. And it hurt my heart because that's one where you show in the video room and go, guys, we need a play there. And that's the captain. That's not just
you don't even have to show it. Sorry to interrupt you, but I don't think you even have to show it because everyone on the bench is watching going,
oh boy.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you want to make a point and go, why did Carolina lose? There's a laundry list of things, but it's that. It's plays like that where it's like, not today, Butch. Check, please. And that's the stuff that rattles me a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I do think that Carolina, they've got some players like a guy like Aho, Svechnikov. I think Jarvis is a good player. Stankoven, they've got guys who have skill and can move the puck, but they've been paralyzed. Like Florida has just literally dummied them. And, maybe they got a little bit of life last game. And on home ice with the last change, maybe you can get something tonight. But, I think Florida wins the series. And I should preference by all of my comments saying I've been completely wrong on everything this year.
Good.
So, I had
the Oilers are winning. That'd be great.
I had Tampa. What did I have?
You were a big Tampa guy.
I had Tampa Winnipeg final. That's what I thought.
Nashville just missing as well.
And Nashville making the playoffs.
That's all right. Hey, you got to own it. And actually, I think Brindamore was asked about that play.
Right.
Coach Sebastian Aho maybe pulling up a little bit on that puck in the corner. Your thoughts? Oh, all right. We've been using this. This is just kind of this is a keeper.
This is the state of affairs in Raleigh. That's the image.
Because with all of it, you've got this guy who, like you say, would eat glass and crawl his way through it.
Yeah.
And watching a team
that's the thing. Like, you come to the bench after making a play like that and that's staring at you, you might as well just go in and take your gear off. Like, that's the thing. Like, because Rhett and I have experienced that look just with a little slightly older gentleman that grew up in Viking, Alberta. Yeah. And that's the look. But usually there would be a comment. Like, Rod is a pretty reserved guy. I think, Daryl would have a comment or two or 10 to back up that look for sure.
I have a couple things to bring up because I feel like I feel bad for the people that watch or listen to this show on a regular basis. It's about how great the Oilers are these days. It's painful for everybody.
Yeah, it is.
How do you feel about home security?
Well, I'm huge on it. You guys
Are you huge on it?
You guys
That's what I
know
heard.
I have 16 cameras at the house.
That's okay.
16.
Yes.
Weird. I better not.
Yes.
Say
Yes.
Uh,
But I have a
reality TV show.
we have a live monitoring, like I have a live monitoring system that watches my house 24 hours a day.
right.
Like, and you
Not
get
for your freak out parties.
no, I'm not
Baby oil.
not a creep. I'm just saying, like, I want to sleep at night, and you know where I live. It's become the hub of criminals and all of that type of stuff. I mean, we know how soft on crime this country has become. So, you know, in the end, you want to protect your family. So yes, I'm big on home security.
It just kind of came up. We had someone on the show.
Expert.
We had someone on the show last week, and Rhett was saying, I think, maybe talk to Jamie. An expert in the field of home security, and that Mike Commodore is in the field now.
I saw that bit where he's working for Axos or something like that. Or
you know a guy now if you need.
You're in. He's got tasers. He's got everything
Body
you
cams.
need.
that stuff's illegal. Like the only thing we're allowed here.
Oh, come on.
The only thing we're
These are
allowed
legal
here
Gray
tasers.
market.
bear spray and stuff like that. You gotta bear spray and bats. You guys know, like by every door, I can show you. Every door you see, there's a bat by the door there.
Jeez.
I'm hooked up. There's a bat at the front door there. Like at the end
Bats are safe, noodlers.
well, you gotta take care of what you can. You can take care of
That's
what
right.
you need to, control. But yeah, I am a big home security guy, and I did see the commie bit and all of that. But like, I don't know. Commie has. You think I have a unique set of friends? Commie has even times 10 type of thing. So, but yeah, I think everybody needs home security nowadays. You just don't know. You
You're
never
right.
know, right?
Well, here's a little more love for Mike. Here's expert Mike Commodore.
I'm getting hired to open some doors. So if you guys know anybody that this,
Like literally, you're a doorman.
here's what I'm selling. I'm selling tasers. I'm selling body cams.
I know the
And
people.
And I'm selling all the software that comes with it.
Well,
Axon. Axon is the name of the company.
spell it.
I'll tell you what, AXON. Even I can spell that, and I don't need AI to do it. I'll tell you what. I wish I would have given this advice like 4 or 5 years ago. Even in September, I went to a conference in Orlando. I went to a security conference. I'm in the security business now. I looked, I'm like, wow, what the fuck is this Axon? I knew what it was, but I'm like, what's their shares trading at? $400 a share. I'm like, that's too
big
much.
company.
Like, yeah, I'm not buying that.
Now
I think as of we could check it today, but I think it's just under $800 a share.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh yeah, we are cutting edge. Obviously, I'm not in charge of the technology.
No, you're opening doors.
I'm opening doors.
He'll be calling Noodles. Look out.
He'll make you feel safe.
Yeah.
I would be fine if it wasn't him selling it. That's the
Yeah,
biggest
that's like
thing.
it's a red flag.
What do you mean?
I love Commie to death, but it's like you're like Commie, come help, hook up the system and it's backwards or like
They're smart enough. They wouldn't put him in that.
yeah, the alarm
Just open the
isn't
doors.
And I'll
the
tell you
alarm's
what,
not working or something like
we'll
that.
we may take some credit. Those stock prices, look, they since last week they just
Skyrocketed.
continue to rise.
Really?
So
Wow,
Skyrocketed.
jeez.
that's the Mike Commodore influence.
It's the barn burner bump.
Next week when you're on, we're going to need your input on TV shows, series. I won't ask you now. We're going to let you go.
No, we don't. I got another question.
Yeah, it's got
Oh.
more questions. You want me out of here? It's not even. Is it
Well,
1 o'clock? Yeah, it's 1.
All right.
No, I have another important question.
What do you got?
Well, people want the details about how Kiprosoft tried to kill and drug you.
Oh yeah, in the Cilius boat.
Yes. You can't leave people hanging for more than a week on that.
All right. So I went to Finland to, train and work out with Kipper and stuff. And we had a great week. Remember the story I told at Kipper's, Jersey retirement where he was riding the electric bike.
Yes.
It was that week. Okay. So we end up, we had a great week. He worked out, he stretched. I'm not lying. He'd watch a movie and he'd stretch for 3 hours. like doing the splits, all of this stuff. Like he was very in tune with his body. So he goes, we're going to go on a trip for one night. And apparently in Finland and Sweden, it's this boat called, I think it's Silius, Silias or something like that. And it's a duty-free boat. So you go on to the boat and you can buy stuff on the water or buy it in Sweden and bring it back to Finland. Apparently, like there's no taxes and no duty because you're on the water, something like that. Okay. So he would go on and I guess you buy whatever, chew and alcohol or whatever. But it's also, there's like a nightclub and there's like bars and like it's like a crazy boat. And so we go on it, but Vesa Toskala comes too. And so Vesa, like, and all their buddies. So it's all these Finnish guys and me. And I didn't know this because I'm excited or whatever, time change. We're all drinking. Have you ever done this to your buddies? Well, they did it to me. Is my drinks are triples, theirs are singles.
Oh.
So I was like sideways, like an hour into the trip, maybe more, like, maybe 2 hours in the trip. And to the point where it was like, no, I'm non-functioning. And I had rented like these, you have a hotel room on the boat as well, where I was going to sleep and stay. I had no idea. I just remember being at a nightclub and just being hammered, and they were like feeding me drinks. Here, have this. And I didn't know it was like 3 times to their single. So they basically, I woke up, I'm not lying. I woke up in this room. I had no idea how I got there. I think my clothes were changed. I was like, there was a pocket. I lost 8 hours of my life and I had no idea what happened. And it was because of those two. So I will blame it on the goaltending tandem of the Flames from many years ago.
The old tandem.
Vesa, yes.
You know what? He's a bad friend.
Well, I mean, he was a good friend, but a bad friend because he was a good friend that he took care of me. He was a bad friend that I was poisoned that quickly. Because why would you want to be like, I would want to last the night and be dancing and enjoying myself.
It's not like you're not going to hang out.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I would have been the whole night and fired up to stay out all night. Instead, I'm sure I have no idea if firemen carried me home because I have no idea how I got back.
Ever seen the Noodlers in that bad?
And how were you to know that you were drinking strong beverages? Like
all
they
fingers,
knew
no
the
thumbs.
next day they were laughing about it like that. That's the other thing. Like it was
your sense of taste.
like was there any part of you that said,
"Well, these are stiff,
man, stiff"?
You get the first one in you, and you might think
it doesn't matter. At that point, you're going, all right, this is, and keep in mind, you're in a different country. You're going, okay, this is their drink, whatever. Like you're just enjoying yourself. You're not, I don't think it was maliciously done. It was just like, hey, we're going to make sure this guy has a good time. And I did have a good time. I woke up with a headache though.
I guarantee you, it was not.
I don't like boats or anything. So things are moving and, oh my God. Like
it could have ended a lot worse. Being on a boat, going blackout drunk. It's like, well, I don't know where he is. Is he home with you?
That's the thing. So he did take care of me. I just was concerned about, how the process went down. Put it that way.
So, remember back in the day, you had to buy the DVD sets.
Yeah,
like.
I've got 3,000 DVDs in the basement.
Yeah. So what's the best one? Because I say it's Sopranos.
I like The Wire.
What?
The Wire.
The Wire's.
I've not watched The Wire.
The Wire is 5 seasons in Baltimore of the drug trade, the media, all of that. It's unbelievable. You haven't seen The Wire before?
No.
I
haven't seen Breaking Bad, The Wire.
Oh, see, Breaking Bad, Sopranos, The Wire. These are like top 5. Like if you look at top 5 series of all time, I think those would be in them. But definitely The Wire is really good. It looks at it from 5 different angles. It looks at it from the drug dealer's way, from the media's way, and it's all shot in Baltimore. And it's a great series. So yeah, I'm big on those series. Like I was,
because Jack is a nice person, but a bit of a loser, and he's never seen The Sopranos or anything like
just
that.
young.
We're like, dude, you.
Well, yeah, but the thing is even my show, we have like a 22-year-old producer. He's never seen like Forrest Gump. He's never seen any of the classic movies or anything like that.
Yeah.
They're like, well, who the hell would? They weren't even born when they came out. So why would you expect them to? I mean, I quote Slapshot shot. You know,
And they
quote.
don't.
Half the people that listen to me have no idea. Like they've never watched Slapshot. They should. But they have.
As soon as my kids turned 10, I made sure they saw Slapshot.
Keep in mind.
I want you to have a heart attack and die so that we never have to do this shit again.
Keep in mind, at the end of the day, some of these movies are not very politically correct, you know, so that's
Okay, it's time and a place. That's what
Blazing
movies are.
Saddles?
agreed.
I tried to watch Blazing Saddles on the plane. That like you couldn't get 30 seconds. Oh my god!
Well, Tropic of Thunder, Robert
Oh,
Downey Jr.,
what a
stuff
show.
like that. You got to, you know, time and place for sure. Even go back to Dumb and Dumber. Like there's, you know, your pets' heads are falling off. Like, you know, it's pretty. Kingpin. Think about Kingpin. Like, remember Woody Harrelson's like eating the
Rhett,
yogurt?
yeah.
It's like, okay, go outside, finish that off, and come back in and talk to me.
What is it about good sex that makes you have to take a crap? What is it? All these years later, still can't connect the dots on that.
Yes, there are some movies that are must see, but maybe it's the privacy of your own home.
Oh, Nudes, I'm happy you made it. I'm glad you didn't go. Don't go
man.
dying on me now. Glad you
I
didn't
would
go
have gone
dying on that
overboard.
boat.
Like, you know what? I would have been Weekend at Bernie's. That's
Yeah.
what I would have been. Bernie Lomax.
There again, yeah.
Flipper had his way. Oh, well.
You're a good boy. We appreciate you.
All right, guys. We'll
Take
see you
care of
next-
that bat.
See you, Noodles.
I will. Take
See
it
ya.
easy.
Jamie McLennan. Hey, buddies. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Also, if you could throw in a like and subscribe, it does help us out with what it is we are doing. And check out more at flamesnation.ca.